Well, good afternoon, ladies. Today we're going to do a tubular cast on. This is very good as a provisional cast on. We need to put on 66 stitches for our sleeve seam. And because we're doing a tubular cast on, we will only put on half that number. So half of 66 is 33. So I make a little knot here. And I grab that and pull it through, and then I put my needle up here. I've got to put there. Can you see the needle going, the knitting needle going through? And now we're going to, that's the first stitch on. So I need to have an crochet hook, knitting needle and yarn. So an crochet hook, knitting needle and yarn. Pull it through. Now you will find I've got an crochet hook, yarn and knitting needle, so I've got to put the yarn behind the needle. That's 2 stitches. That's 3 stitches. 4. And you'll notice that there is a reasonable length here between them. 5. And you have to put the yarn back behind the needle every time. Sometimes when I'm casting on for a jumper to be knitted in the round and I need hundreds of stitches, I find I'm easier having a straight needle clamped tightly in between my thighs, and it just aims up. And this is a provisional cast on, so we can then do our tubular cast on. All the time I'm keeping an crochet hook, knitting needle and yarn. If I've got a lot of stitches to cast on, I have a stack of markers here, and after I've put on 50 I'll pop a marker on, but only 33 I can manage to count. Remember that one. That's the theory of it anyway. And crochet hook, knitting needle and yarn. This yarn that I'm using needs to be finer, a lighter weight than the yarn that I'm going to use the garment, knit the garment out of. And I have found that bamboo works very, very well if you can get some bamboo yarn. The pink that I'm using is a 4-ply Bendigo. I've got a lot of that left over. I knitted myself a top. Being Bendigo, you can't always be sure you can get the same dye lot, so I over-ordered. I don't know how many stitches I'm up to. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Now, if someone's got a pair of scissors I could borrow, please. And I'm just going to pull this yarn through. Thank you very much. And just pull that last stitch through like this. Now, I'm being very careful now when I lay this down that I've got that little one hanging off here, because I need to know where I began and where I'm finishing. So I began up this end and I'm finished up here. That is all there is that you need to do to a provisional cast on. Now, because we're going to do a tubular cast on, we now need to work 4 rows of stocking stitch with our main colour, and because we're going to be knitting in a circle, we don't need a great lot to sew up with. Now, because we're going to do a tubular cast on, we now get busy and purl. You work 4 rows of stocking stitch beginning with a purl stitch. Stop. Thank you.